Hey guys, didn't see who was here because I changed it to live chat because it's not default for some stupid reason. Um, so you'll have to say hello again, and that disappears the ordinary chat out of the way. For I've got no idea why. The top chat, some messages aren't visible, and then you choose the live chat, and then no messages beforehand are visible, and you do that. Dan, g'day. 624 Dudley, g'day. Paul, hello. Stuart, g'day. The Shed Shop, good morning. Journeyman Randy, hello. Snowing there. JB, g'day. Peter Nuttall, hello. Bill, g'day. Um, we're at the machine shop actually, or one of them, one of the machining areas. The machining area 2, I think you call this. Look at this all wired up. I don't actually have a PowerPoint available at the moment to show you it running, but it has been running, so it's all ready to go. It all starts and stops and does everything it's supposed to do. So pretty happy with that. Thanks guys for all your help you've been with this, but it was pretty heavy getting it here, and it's all set up and it's all pretty much running. There's a few jobs to do. We seem to be missing a nut and a woodruff key out of this end, which came off when we moved it. I took it off when I moved it, and for some reason have misplaced it. So whether I buy a new one or whether I actually find it, I don't know yet. That's probably the one thing. We've got a new plug and a new lead that goes to the way out to the PowerPoint in the other room in machining area 1. And it's all up and running pretty well. It's all pretty good. There's a few jobs that still need to be done. Got this Vertex vise I bought 12 months ago. Gosh, it's a while ago. And it's got some problems. Well, not problems, but it needs to be made to fit. It's one of these that was on a swivel base, and that's not much good. But these slots here are only for a 3/8 instead of a 1/2 inch bolt. So what you find is that this doesn't really fit in here particularly well. So what I'm going to do is set something up set a power rod up with a couple of clamps on here. I think it's the best way. And turn this over and clamp it on the parallel, and I'll run a 5/8 or whatever it is slot through there for a couple of keys to line it up, and I'll open these up so they work, and then everything's right. So that's a job. I've got this cheap vise, and it's probably all right. It's not the Kurt style, it's just a cheap vise, but there's not a lot of play in it, to be honest. It's not suitable for thin pieces. Yeah, that's okay, but there are ways around that too. If you've got a small thin piece you want to put in there, we'll set up a grinder vise in it first, you know. That's not very difficult. So that's all going, and we should get to see this running before the end of live stream, but we're waiting for Joe to finish bleeding the oil system on the CNC lathe. Looking at this, this is just a patio area here. My welding bench is there, and my grinding cabinet's there. This arrived here, and I still haven't set this up. There's going to be another cabinet in the back corner there with all my stuff on it. Probably going to put some battens in this wall and hang some stuff up too. But we'll put a shelf or whatever for some of this heavy stuff. Apart from that, the thing's all working. This is a patio area out here that's very much in the under construction sort of a phase. This bench here is probably going to go over under that window, with this box at the moment in the middle here at one end and this cabinet here at the other end. Easel set up there to do some painting at some point. So this has all got to come out and be changed over. That's full of gym weights, like bodybuilding weights, so it weighs tons, so it's got to be emptied. And this is full of power tools, so that weighs a fair bit too, and that's got to be emptied. And I'd like to get that bench with the proper top on it over here, and then we can stack some stuff underneath it and we put a vise on it and we can have a decent outside bench. This is really nice out here actually, and it's potentially pretty good. There's also a shed down there that's got some storage stuff in it. It's pretty solid. So there we go. I've actually end up rewiring this. If you want.
Yeah.
If you want. Do you want to plug it in? Joe's going to plug them in. No stress. Put new flex through from the motor to the switch, and then from the switch to the wall, because this bit was in it. This old rubber flex really isn't much good for anything. It's a bit dangerous. It's all crumbly. So did that job. Was more absolutely needed doing. Joe's actually plugging the mill in. Can everyone hear me? Thanks. I guess everyone can hear me. So there's the mill running. It's not a noisy machine at all. It is actually running. Should all be good. Hey Kevin. 5x5? Maybe. So that's all that sorted. It's all ready to go. This has still got a bit of rock in it because these probably need some wedges under it to take that out. We'll have to do that and get it all sorted. It's another job. There's a fair bit of stuff. The welding cart's probably going to stay there. This grinding cart's going to turn around half a turn eventually, and there's going to be another cart here in the corner that I've made to fit. Well, it was behind the mill in the last place, and I think it'll fit in the corner. It's one of Joe's mills there. He's hand scraped it within an inch of its life. It's probably not a bad little mill, but it doesn't get a whole lot of work, I don't think, because there's a bandsaw there too. And an air compressor. All things that I have, but probably won't need for a bit. It's all yours, Joe. This is Joe's machine shop. Don't know if anyone's interested in that sort of stuff. I don't know very much about it, but he sort of knows stuff, and he seems to get work for it. And that's why we have three-phase power. So, you were CNC crap and nice machines, yeah. That's your thing, I guess. Anyway, the mill that's all running. Hey, Ian. It's very good to have this up and running. It'd be even better to have time to actually get out here and make stuff. I've got so many jobs, so many projects, so many things I want to finish. I've just got to get out and get things ready to go. This is somewhere where I want it though, and it's looking good. And I think this will clean up nicely. Just a matter of spending a day in here, getting it back to sort of half reasonable. The bench top's leaning up there for this bench, and that'll go over there. It's the backyard in Logan. Any time at all, like I've got really, it seems to be working negative, and I'm a bit concerned about that, to the point that which projects do I sell, which ones do I keep, because I'm never going to get to them. Maybe I will, but maybe I won't. Anyway, we're trying to do downsize. Anyway, we'll come back inside. Come out and lock up in a minute. We'll come through to this workshop, which is absolute chaos. Going through boxes of bolts and putting them away as I go. There's rubbish, just a box off the old plug and the new plug that I've actually finished with, so they could get tossed. Done. Allen key that was missing for about 3 years out of my good set, and I finally found it in a box. 4 bits of brass, which are actually the inners. It's one of the projects. I've got, oops, sorry guys, I've got this vise folded down, which is really nice. That's a job well done. Dan, you don't need a helicopter, I think. Convince me about that. So this is all just stuff that's landed here as I'm unpacking, and it's a different stuff to last week, and it's a different stuff to the week before, because it's slowly getting unpacked and put away. There's a mod store bookcase in here, got a full-length bookcase there, and we're going to do the same on the next one, and probably the next one. So that's another job that's being done. It's just ongoing. So these 4 bits of brass are to make 4 of these, which are pretty ugly actually, but this is the inner out of the drain cock on the Fowler roller. It's got a thread on one end, which is also pretty ugly. Just no finish to it, but that's like most things on the Fowler roller. It's got a thread on one end, and it's got a sort of a hole in it, and it's got sort of a hex on it with some holes in it. It's pretty ugly. Should have a square on this end, and that goes through. Goes through this. Can we see that? I think we can see that. We're blurry. I would cut back on the spiced rum and cola. That's where I'm at with that tan. But good luck. So these bits are all right. We've got 4 of these. I can't hold this with one hand, so I'm going to put this in the vise. Now I actually have a vise. Look at that. This goes through here on an angle. Probably. There it goes this way. There we go. Hey, Russ Knox. Like so. With a nut and a proper washer and stuff on there, which is all sort of missing. This is pretty ugly. It's supposed to be square on the end. Give me a second, I'll show you why. I think I'm back, am I? Right, we need some levers that look a bit like this in cast brass or iron or something. Probably they're going to be brass. Should be nice. That's supposed to go here, like so. Maybe that's supposed to go on here on the square. There's no common sense with shapers. You just throw that away because they're not mutually exclusive. So you just buy a shaper. If common sense come into it, you wouldn't. So why even look at it? You just need to completely disregard it. So that's what this is supposed to do. It's got a couple of tapped holes in the ends, one there, it's supposed to have, and one there for pins, the stick up steel pins. The levers go on with a split pin through the top. And this fits on this square here. And what happens is that the short end operates the other end, so there's 2 on each side of the cylinder, and the long end operates the linkage across to the other side. So it's all a bit complicated. Take care, JB. Good to see you. Good luck with the excavator. So that's pretty basically how that works. These need a good clean up. These bits need replacing because on these they all sit through different depths. Some of them stick out here like this, which isn't much good, and some of them stick through sort of this much with hardly enough thread on it to get a nut on, and some of them are in the middle. So what I'm going to do is make 4 of those to that taper, so set that up. machine that taper and thread, and put a square on this end. Probably put a square on them first. Gee, that's ugly. Put a square on first, and then probably put a slot in as well, and then machine the taper and put a thread on them. And then I'll get a bit of 01, which I've got a bit here, 3/4 square, and I'll machine the same taper on that and make a reamer. And we'll use that just to clean the holes out so they're all the same depth. Chirpy's onto it, see? So I've got, sorry guys, what I don't have yet, we're still working on it. What we don't have yet is no, I don't know what I was even going to say there. But I've got enough of that nice bit of 19mm 01 there, which we should get a nice reamer out of, I think. Leave it square on the end and cut it away by half and machine it to match and all that sort of stuff. It should be good. So that's the plan. And that way we can get them all sort of sitting nice and level and straight and square and tight. And the way it is at the moment, you can't tell whether they're open or shut half the time, and it's a bit of a problem. Morning, David. So that's the work in progress at the moment. We've got 4 bits of brass actually cut and ready to start. The minute we've got that laid, I've got the milling machine all set up to probably put the dividing head on, or put the vise in, and a collet block probably is good enough. Rusty East, g'day. We can put squares on them, and then we might just hold them in the little 4-jaw and put the tapers on them. Put a centre drill in the other end, thread them, all those sort of things. That's the thought. That's the idea. Can't wait to see Russ Knox. The Shaper videos are always welcome though. Who else had a video this week? Oh, there's one from this old Tony. I don't know if there was a lot of moment or circumstance about it, but there was one from this old Tony. There was also one from Stefan Gottswinter. He was in live stream last week. Really enjoyed catching up with him. You should go and check that out on Tram and Mills. I'll be using some of that information this week when I set that mill up to tram it. It's just got to be done. Take care, Ian. Good to see you. I want to get this little engine finished, which is the Stuart Progress. Get that finished pretty quick. It's not a lot to it, actually. A couple of weekends would probably finish it. As one from Tom. There is one from Tom. Very good video from Tom about drill press build up to his usual standard. So check that out. He's a good guy. I found the drawings and the parts kit for his rotary broach kit, so that might be something I'd like to tackle sometime soon. Yeah, there's 1,000 things, but mostly I've just got to get through actually clean some of this stuff up and put it away. And it's happening. There's a box there, that yellow and black box, which is full of model aircraft equipment and radio stuff. That's probably for sale, for cheapest offer or best offer or whatever. Get rid of that. It's all old crystal set stuff. A bit out of date now, but it's all pretty good radio, and there's a couple of like two-stroke engines and stuff in there, so I reckon I can get a few bucks for that. Always stuff from Double Boost. He's been to Beamish this last weekend, which I'm a bit jealous about. I'd love to get there one year. We'll see how we go. We've got to get all this sorted and get enough money in the bank to pay rent when I'm gone and airfares and things. And then think about it. But there's 1,000 other things too. Glenray Timberfest is the last weekend. That's the last weekend in July. That's getting close to, and there's still things to do, like these drain cocks for a start. That's a Lee dovetail jig. Yes, I have one. Have a Lee dovetail jig. It's a D4R. It's sort of the top of the line one. Don't know if it's going to fit up there in that top of that cupboard there. That bike frame there. There's a bike frame there. It's got to go up there for a bit too, and that locomotive as well. So I've got to pull that locomotive out and fill that up with stuff, bigger stuff that's got to go in there. And then maybe we'll have some room down here. So that's probably a Sunday job, if it doesn't happen tomorrow night. It's just all ongoing. It's a bit overwhelming if you try and think too much about it. Russ Knox doesn't understand Double Boost, doesn't get the Geordie accent. That's fair. I travelled to the States with him one year and ended up translating for him, and I couldn't understand him anyway. But made it up as we went along. He holds his own pretty well because he's so tall. He's like 6'7" or something, 6'5". He's pretty tall anyway. 6'3", 6'4", probably more than that, I think. Tall, skinny, cute, good bloke. Should phonetic Geordie. Is there such a thing as a phonetic Geordie course? Maybe we could all do it. Someone should do a video of it who's a bit gifted in languages. How to speak phonetic Geordie. Maybe he didn't understand you either. So these boxes of screws and things that I like, all these screws I'm just going through. These are bits for projects and nuts and bolts and things. And basically just a matter of going through and tossing out what's no good and putting the rest in the compartments that they belong to. Things like this has fallen out of a box somewhere. Got to find where it went and put it back. I think I know where they are. Damn biscuits, good day. Some old spark plugs there that found in a box. It's a box for a Bethlehem 5-point. I reckon that's on display, or it should be on display in the cabinet. There's Australian Pyrox. $18mm Australian Pyrox, brand new. in this box. There's an Olympic, which is another Australian plug. It's actually got made in Australia written on it if we look carefully. Don't know if you can see that. I'm struggling with it. There's a J6J Champion. Don't know what that fits. Don't know why I have it. It's got an anchor, so I guess it's an outboard motor plug. Choose the plug the exports use. There's another Champion there too, which is probably not a Champion by the look of that now. I've looked in the box. It's a Champion box. I just know enough to know that the plug that come out of that box, sorry, bump something. That's an old AC, probably English one. Anyway, all things like that I've got to sort through and find places and homes for. So that's just as we go. It's a matter of putting that set of castings in that box and then find another box to put the next set of castings in. There's lots of hand tools and things that need some form of organisation and storage, but we've got to get rid of some of this big stuff off the floor so that we can go through it all and sort it out, put some pegboards and stuff up. It's a big job, but we're getting there. Probably not terrible either. And there's these pansy types that drink oatmeal and oat milk and caramel frappuccinos and things, and they seem to get away all right. So I think whatever you order, I don't think anyone's going to judge you. If they do, well, you just got to be big enough to stand up to them. That was a dig at Dan Shed, but he's obviously not listening. He was listening. Okay. Now, if someone wants this, right? Have it for the postage. I got no idea what it's off, right? It was a seat that I picked up somewhere, and it sounded like a really good idea. I would imagine it's off some sort of child's trike or something like that from the 1850s or something like that. Advertised it once and never got rid of it, so I don't know. Anyway, that's just junk that's in the way. So the box of pocket watch bits me moved today. I sold them, so I'm pretty happy about that. Means I can cover some other expenses. We've got here a nice P&N tap and die set, 2-inch tap and die box. Missing the tap and die. I've got 3 of these boxes. I've got the smaller set, which is a 1/2-inch one. I've got no idea where that is. It's got to be here somewhere. I reckon it's in the top of the wardrobe already, probably, or it's in the back somewhere. It's a good set. That was Dad's. This one here I picked up somewhere. I've also got a BA set, and I've got another smaller metric set in the same boxes. So probably going to find a home for this one. I don't know. I had this awesome idea to do some artwork for these stickers and get some made, but it hasn't happened yet. know a lot of people have got these that are in various levels of condition. But that box needs tools. I've got to do something with that. This box is full of abrasive paper. I've got to find somewhere to put that. The box below that's full of hand tools. I've got to find somewhere to put that too. So I've sort of got a crap load of welding consumables that come from Dad, so I should learn to TIG weld, I guess. I've got a brand new box of 316 stainless, 316L. Got a box of 5356 aluminium, which is also pretty much brand new. A couple of sticks out of it. Got a box of steel rod, about a couple of kilos, probably 5 kilo packet of mild steel filler rod. I've got absolutely no idea what that is. Welding rod for brazing. No weight in it. I'm guessing it's aluminium. I've got 3 or 4 kilos of silicon cast iron. I've got I've got no idea. I think that's 3mm Tobin bronze. I have to read the label. And that's 5mm Tobin bronze. There's also a heap of 1.6 bronze and silver solder, 45%. It's good. Put it outside, James. So that's another thing that's materialised from under a bench in the storage locker that I've got to put something on, find somewhere to put away. I don't know where it ends. Don't know what to do. I have been slowly finding stuff, but I need to downsize considerably. I'd like to get rid of quite a lot of tools. Trouble is with getting rid of stuff is that you need it next week. And what do you do with it? Where do you get rid of it? How do you sort it out? There's Australian 10 cent that was in a box, or 2 5-cent pieces. They've got the echidna on them. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can. There he is. There's some American coins here, I think. Are they American? No idea what they are. No. Some English coins. There's a tuppence. And some 1 penny. I don't know if they actually buy anything or whether they actually work anymore. Another tuppence. what looks like a couple of American dimes. Geez, I've got junk. This is the stuff you find. That's £1. 3 of them. About £3. Nearly buy a coffee with that, probably. Probably can't either. It's another 2 5-cent pieces. In Australian currency. There's another dime. So, all things you find in the bottom of boxes. Will we be having new coins and notes soon? I don't believe so. I know that there's some new notes on the way, and I've seen some new notes, but they've still got Queen Elizabeth on them, so I'm not sure what's happening there, if that's what you meant. All our coins and notes are plastic, which is interesting. I don't know if I guess most places in the world are now. When they come out, they were a bit sort of new. You used to say it's because Australians were too lazy to take them out of their pockets when they did the washing. So coins had to be able to go through, and notes. So they're polycarbonate or the plastic, and they're pretty hard to forge. I don't think we get a lot of forged notes compared to some places. Russ Knox is there with the logic, like he's talking your language, and he's helping. You should take this to heart, because you won't get this advice from anyone else in your immediate circle. On a big machine you can make small parts, but on a small machine you can't make big parts. There you go. That's pretty useful. So buy the biggest one you can find. No, we're not enabling you or anything. We also print Canada's notes. I didn't know that, but there you go. If you have a look over there in the back, we'll move it a bit closer because there might be some light up this end. There's Bill Baggins' knife. It's a pretty useful knife that I use it all the time. Pretty useful thing. If you're looking for a nice knife, hit up Bill because he makes some nice things. It gets used all the time. It's a nice knife. Drill sets on the bench. Not particularly useful on the bench. It's absolute fool of a thing, actually, that drill standard. I don't know whether I'm going to find another one, or whether I'm going to buy another set of drills and flog these, or what I'm going to do. These are half missing, and by the time I buy all the ones that are missing, it's nearly cheaper to go and buy a new Goering set, which I think at the moment is about $250, $300, which is on a square indexer and much nicer made than this plastic thing. The other thing you could do is make an aluminium centre on a bracket that this carousel sits on with a taper, and screw it to the side here so that it sticks out sort of above everything up here, so you can just spin it round and look at it. But it's very difficult to read and very difficult to find anything and very difficult to put anything back in the right place. So I'm not a big fan of that carousel. we have here is a box of bits. This is case in point. These are mostly gears, right? Every time you make a gear that doesn't quite fit, like there's a bit of rack there. There's a heap of worm gears, there's some helical bevels, there's all sorts of stuff in there. You toss them in this box, right? Like so. And put the lid back on the box and put it back under the bench. That's how everyone works. What you end up with is a very heavy full box or jar full of big gears that no one wants. So if anyone's looking for gears for something, you're welcome to come and have a look through them, but it's a big job to look through them. There you go. Tea and Biscuits carousel is probably good, yeah. I've got a vintage Bakelite one for imperial drills and fractional sizes, which I really like. And my number drills are in a fold out one, which I like too. My metric drills, which are in here, it's a bit useless to be honest. Not a huge fan. Things like half a dozen paint trays. Where do you keep them? I've downsized my watch tools and watch parts very considerably over the last little while, and my woodworking planes I've downsized too, but I haven't got rid of anything of any consequence. Yeah. So that's how it's all happening. We're stepping over a sheet metal roller there, which was actually up here on the bench, but it's a bit in the way. So it's probably going to go outside in a lock-up box, and with the tin of bits at some point over the weekend, and that'll be out of the way. I've got homes for a lot of these things. There's a folder there that needs sort of sorting out and putting somewhere. There's a belt linisher that I'll probably get rid of when I get my belt grinder up and running that I'm making, but that's sometime in the future. And this is a pretty useful thing to have sometimes. Anyway, you can see the dilemma, and you can see why I'm not making much content, because I'm still trying to actually get in and get things finished and put away. That's where we're at. Several times I've had this wardrobe door shut, which is really nice, but this week it hasn't happened. Don't flood the market, James. There's stuff that you can use and stuff that you can't use, so you just got to, I've got rid of a lot of tools that are high-end stuff that I'm never going to use again, to be honest. I'm too busy doing what I do, and none of it's any of that. Anyway, got to get the other room sorted out. I've got to get all the books up off the floor and out of the boxes, and nearing the end of that project, and it's looking good. I'm really pleased with that. And then I've got to get this cabinet. It's another job for at some point. I've got to get this cabinet here out in the other bench beside the mill, full of milling cutters and tools and things. So that work light goes on the mill, so I've got to fix that too. And once I've done that, that'll be a good thing. Now that tin tray there goes under the heat treat oven, which is going out in the kitchen. Got to do that. These toolboxes all need a good clean out, and it's a work in progress. We've made progress on that, but slow. Every now and again I do a draw. it's just, where do you even go? There's a lot less power tools in here than there was. There's a lot less of all sorts of things in here than there was, but it's still a matter of getting sorted. So it could be another 2 months, but I've got another 10 days to get everything out of the storage locker. And I'm working pretty hard to get stuff put away or in here at least, so that I can finish up with that and don't have to pay another month's rent, and get that all sorted and catch up again financially, because it's a bit of a drain and all that sort of stuff. So doing a load nearly every night, but not a big load. There's only about one big load left there. I could put everything in the van, I reckon, and bring it through, but then I've got to unload it somewhere. So you've got to find places for things before you get there. Anyway, enough of my rants. I've had one of those days. I've had sort of a bit of a crappy day, to be honest. It hasn't been as good as it could have been. And I'm glad it's over. But there's another one tomorrow, which may or may not be as good or better. Don't know. Can't really tell. And I've got 1,000 jobs to do. Anyway, if anyone's still awake, or if anyone's still there, I'm going to probably call this live stream and say thanks for watching, thanks for joining in, thanks for all your help with that milling machine, everyone. Really appreciate that. I haven't forgotten. We got it here and it's set up and it's going, which is amazing, and it's taken a while, but it's ready to make chips, which is really good. And help with everything else too is really awesome. Really appreciate everyone's help. It's just a matter of, this bench was actually clean, sort of. Sunday the bench was clean. Oh crap. Don't know what caused that, something fell over. This bench was clean on Sunday, but it's back where it was. So chip video soon, probably, yes. I would like to think so, but don't know when. There's still a lot of stuff to clean up before we can get to the lathe. And a lot of stuff to clean up before we can get to the mill. They're not... Righto, Stuart, we'll have a talk, but I've got to get it all together in one place and get it out and get some photos. Don't know when. Don't hold me to that. Anyway, I'm out, I think. Appreciate you all, and thanks for tuning in. If you're looking for something else to watch, go and check out any of the guys on this channel, because they've all got good videos pretty much. And all different spectrums of interest. And I'm out, so we'll catch you next week if there's not a video before. I've got some footage in the can, I just haven't edited it. It just hasn't happened, sorry. Take care. Be kind to each other.